Hello, fabulous fifth graders, and welcome to the last lesson in Unit 1. Our objective today is I'll solve word problems by applying the MESS strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and make my 4 quadrants and put my MESS. So I'm going to read my problem first. Mr. Fry distributed $126 equally among 4 children for their weekly allowance. How much money did each child receive? So I'm thinking about what is important information I should circle. $126 for children. Underlining my question, how much money did each child receive? So right away, it's a lot of words, and I think I'm going to make my sentence frame. Say each child received, and we're going to figure that out. So for my model, I'm going to make a tape diagram. The whole thing is worth how much money he's giving out altogether, which would be $126. He has 4 kids, so I'm going to make 4 spaces. So we want to know one box, so I'm going to put a question mark here. So my equation, I have 2 numbers. If I want to know how much one kid gets, I'm going to divide, because my number is going to get smaller. So it's going to be 126 divided by 4. Now I'm on to my scratch work. So I remember when I divide, does McDonald's serve burgers raw? So I'm going to put my dividend, $126 in the house, and my divisor 4 outside. 4 can't fit into 1. I'm going to put X there. 4 fits into 12 3 times. Now multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract. And I get 0. I'm going to bring down my 6. Now I'm going to have to repeat how many 4s fit into 6. It's just going to be 1. 1 times 4 is 4. And I subtract and I have 2. So I can't be done here, so I'm going to add a decimal and a 0. I'm adding a decimal because after the ones place is a decimal. So I'm bringing down my 0. How many 4s fit into 20? So 5. 4 times 5 is 20 exactly. So my answer, each child received $31.50. I'm going to add a 0 to make it 50 cents. My next problem, John, the oldest child, paid his siblings to do his chores. Genius. So if John pays his allowance equally to his brother and 2 sisters, how much money will each of his siblings receive in all? So I'm going to underline my question. How much money will each sibling receive in all? He has a brother and 2 sisters. So if I draw my model, my whole thing, how much John is starting with, is the $31.50. Now we have 1 brother, I'll put here for brother, and then 2 sisters, so I'm going to put an S for each sister. So whatever I find, I'm looking for 1, doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to add what they already had to it. So I'm going to do, the sibling already had $31.50 plus, and then I have to figure out what is $31.50 divided by 3. So $31.50 divided by 3. 3 fits into 3 one time. I'm going to bring down my 1. 3 can't fit into 1, so I need to put a 0. I can't just ignore it. And then bring up my decimal. So now I'm going to bring down my 5. 3 fits into 15 5 times. have 0 left. And then I bring down my 0, 3 fits into 0, 0 times. So it looks like he's giving each sibling $10.50. So this is equal to $10.50. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, too close to that arrow button. So now we need to do 3150 plus the 1050. Once we've added these both together, we're going to put in our answer. My sentence frame, each sibling gets, I'm going to put my answer, and I'm going to let you figure out that final part. So we've applied the math strategy to our word problems. Let's look at another. Ava is 23 centimeters taller than Olivia. So is it going to be important? Olivia is half the length of Lucas. If Lucas is 1 7/800 meter tall, how tall are Ava and Olivia? So I'm going to make my mess. This is really wordy, so the first thing I'm going to do is just make what I know. So we have Ava, Olivia, and Lucas. What we know, Lucas is 1 whole meter and then almost a whole nother meter. So if I just combine those two together, it was 1 7/800 meters. Our question, how tall are Ava and Olivia? So if we work backwards, Olivia is half the height of Lucas. So she's going to go to about here. So I'm going to take 1 7/800 divided by 2. Oops. So over here in my scratch, does McDonald's serve burgers raw? 2 can't fit into 1. 2 fits into 17 8 times. I get 16. So I've divided, multiplied, and subtract. I'm going to bring down my 8. 2 fits into 8 9 times, which is 18, so I have no remainder. So Olivia is 89 hundredths of a meter. So now we have Ava, and she is Olivia's plus 23 centimeters. So if I'm remembering back a long time ago, we learned there's 100 centimeters and 1 meter. So if I change Olivia into centimeters, I would times by 100 to get 89 centimeters. So to get Ava, I'm going to need to do 89 centimeters plus 23 centimeters. So we've already found out that Olivia is, and we'll leave that, and they want us to put it in centimeters. Ava is, so we found out Olivia is 89 meters, was equal to 89 hundredths of a meter, which is 89 centimeters. So Ava is going to be 89 plus 23 centimeters. So I'll let you figure that last part out on your own. to add the two together, just make sure you line up 89 plus 23. All right, so looking at one more, just setting it up. We have Mr. Howard can buy a computer with a down payment of $510 and 8 monthly installments of $35.75. The guy, if he pays cash for the computer, the cost is $699.99. How much money will he save if he pays cash for the computer instead of paying in monthly payments? So we're going to need to figure out how much he would spend if he did the first option. So the first plan, he pays $510 plus 8 monthly payments of $35.75. I'm just going to make this different by putting a different color, making 7 lines to make 8 spots, and I can't fit in that they each are worth $35.75, but they're going to repeat. So my equation, do $510 plus, I need to figure out what $35.75 times 8 is. So we can either do traditional $35.75 times 8, or you can set up your area model. There would be 8 on the outside, and you would have 3 10s, 5 1s, and 7 10s, and then 5 100s. I'm running out of room. And multiply that way. So go ahead and take a moment to multiply. When you get the product, we're going to add $510 to it. So we should do $510 plus $286 to get the total for this plan. We can call this plan 1, and we know plan 2 is just a straight $699.99. Now the question isn't how much the first plan is, but once you find this, you need to take the cost of this whole thing, and we're going to find how much more. So you're actually going to have to take your amount minus $699.99. Our sentence, we underline how much money will he save if he pays cash. If he pays cash, he will save that much money. And I'll let you figure out that part. So what we find here, it's going to travel over to here so we can find this missing area. Hope you're having a fabulous day, and I will be talking to you soon.